I'm Jeff Oliverio, and let's queer up the USA view. Human Rights Watch warns U.S. is fueling global rights crisis. A new report from the Human Rights Watch warns the United States is undermining LGBTQ+ and broader human rights worldwide, calling the second Trump administration a period of, quote, blatant disregard for human rights and egregious violations, end quote. The findings come from World Report 2026, which reviews global human rights conditions throughout 2025. In the report's introduction, Philippe Bolopion states the global human rights system is in peril, adding that pressure from the U.S. alongside China and Russia is crushing the rules-based international order. He writes that 2025 may be seen as a tipping point. Bolopion details what he calls a sweeping assault on U.S. democracy, citing attacks on judicial independence, voting norms, healthcare access, women's rights, free speech, and protections for trans and intersex people. The report says queer people, especially transgender communities, have faced intensified targeting. It notes executive orders declaring there are only two sexes, banning trans military service, restricting gender-affirming care for youth, and barring trans women and girls from female sports. Human Rights Watch also highlights state-level actions, warning that bans on care, school restrictions, and the absence of comprehensive federal protections continue to harm LGBTQ+ Americans while weakening U.S. credibility on human rights worldwide. Again, there's nothing new that this story highlights, except it's not good company that we're in with Russia and China on human rights. To ever have imagined, if you could have said 8 years ago that the United States would be mentioned in that category is just shocking. And in a decade that we've fallen so far to be cited in a report. And that doesn't include, travel bans, warning people to come to our country, warning people to come to our state, Florida, but warning people to come to our country for fear of their safety. The lack of, as they said, credibility on the world stage where, here we are trying to, fight for freedom in other countries when we're restricting freedom for our own citizens. So it's a sad moment for the United States.
Well, a couple of years ago was the 75th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And we did a program commemorating that 75th anniversary at FAU. And we were giving an award to a woman who was in a detention camp in Africa. And we couldn't get a visa for her to come here. And so for these years, 5 years, 7 years, she's been moved from one camp to another. She ended up in South Sudan, not a safe place for LGBTQ people. But they moved them out of Kenya because Kenya became so dangerous. And now she just notified me last week that she's made it to Canada. None of them are coming to the United States. Canada has opened its doors. So Canada has become really one of the leading places on earth for human rights. And the United States has fallen and fallen and fallen. So even people who are coming for professional conferences and whatnot can't get into the United States, and yet Canada is taking in new citizens on a regular basis and giving people the opportunity of a lifetime to live as free people.
But if you're part of the old apartheid club in South Africa, you can just come in right in on a red carpet.
And get money.
But meanwhile, people who are desperate to find some safety, they're being denied, which is just cruel, of course. But also, this is what's most disturbing about me. We've never been the shining city on the hill that Reagan. That was always visionary. That was always what we could be, what we're moving toward, what's possible, what we've had little glimpse of, moments of. But this is the same country though that had slavery and Jim Crow and incarcerating Japanese Americans and not letting women vote until well into the 20th century and so this is we've always had to fight to be better, and we've always put the spin on it that what we're becoming is what we really are. What we want to be is what we're becoming, and what we're becoming is what we really are deep down. This blows that myth out of the water. Because now we can't say, well, at least we made some progress and we're still moving toward the goal. We've made some progress. We got a few steps back, and now we're making progress again. That's been the whole 250 years until now. And now it seems like we don't even value the goal anymore. We don't even value the myth, the hope, the possibility anymore. And that's what's scary to me, is that, we're getting there way too slow, but we still have our eyes on the goal. The goal has been blown the hell up. And that's what I think is very heartbreaking and scary.
I would disagree with you. I think that truly the majority of Americans still hold those dreams to be true. I think that it's unfortunate that the people in power are suppressing it, but people crave freedom, and ultimately people will fight back. I don't know how many years, months, days, or generations, but I do believe that that unbridled love of individualism, freedom, and community will win out in the end. It's just that we have to go through, unfortunately, this very painful time. And the reason I say that is I've worked all over the world on this particular issue and have faced off a lot of people with guns in different places, and still they're willing to risk everything in order to get there. And I think that at some point Americans will be willing to risk something too.
I hope so. On the side of, if the empire and the resistance or whatever, they're pretty evenly matched. There's this what tips the balance are the people of apathy, and if they would just show up and vote, this could have been fixed forever ago. Could be fixed in November. So there's good people and there's bad people in the world, but the people who don't care one way or the other, they're killing us. So please, pick a side and you get involved, vote. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.